had the idea of a video, and it was going to be, and I was going to call it "There's Only 3 Chords in Rock and Roll," and the video was to me showing how you only need 3 chords in rock and roll. So me playing all the instruments. That was what I was going to do yesterday. So I thought what I would do instead of, I thought I'd just switch the cameras off and actually just record this song. It's a new song. You know, it's not a great song. It's like a guitar pop thing. It's okay, you know. It's just to show. I really feel like I need to show, give the sort of Boss BR80 a bit of a bigger shout, you know, because I recorded the vocals in the house across over there, and rather than having the vocals recorded on the stereo tracks, you know, in the caravan with the boxiness, and it was actually raining on the last video I done, so you are getting the sound of the rain and everything in the condenser mic. So across there's none of that. It's a room, and there's a room ambience. So that was part of this project. The other thing as well is I wanted to show how the Zoom 234 drum machine can be plugged into the line in on the BR80, so you don't have to use the inbuilt drums on the BR80, which I did for years. But the thing about the BR80 is you do get sick of them sounds, like, but the line in's so good on the BR80 that if you've got an external drum machine, you can get really good drum sounds into the BR80 without any problem. Though obviously the only problem with that is you lose 2 tracks, because then you go and line in to stereo tracks. Because technically the BR80 is actually a 10-track recorder, because the inbuilt drums are on 2 separate tracks, and it still leaves you 8. But you know, back in the day, you know, the first Beatles albums were recorded on 4 tracks. I think Sgt. Pepper's was even 8 tracks, I think. So that shouldn't be a problem. All you got to do is just, you know, work it out, you know. I've also put a real bass in on this recording, so it's not guitar to bass sounds. It's my PV bass through here. What else? I've written it down here. Alright, and this is mental. This, like, as I was looking at the EQ on this as I was sort of mixing this song yesterday, late last night, and I pressed the button. That should be coming up. I pressed this button, and I'll show that. Well, actually, I'll do it now. And it opened up an EQ window that I never knew existed, which is quite insane, because I've been using this machine for 13 years, since I had it in 20, bought it in 20, this very machine in 2010, and I never knew this. Look at that, it brings that up. It brings that up. Or if I did not know it, and then you can go through the tracks, and it's actually bringing up all the EQs, so you can adjust EQs on each, like, go into more detail. I think it's because I've never really go into too much EQing, because I've always think, well, you can EQ it for whatever speakers or whatever you've got, your headphones or whatever. But then it's other headphones, isn't it? It's other people's speakers, so I always try and not EQ that much. But I was just astounded that I just came across this last night. I mean, this is not somebody who's just used this machine every now and again. I've written hundreds and hundreds of songs on this machine. This thing has been part of my life for years, and I didn't know this was here. So there's probably other stuff in this. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, the BR80. Like, it's absolutely remarkable little machine. Right, that's where we're at. So I'm going to run through, I'll play a bit of the track, and then I'm going to run through each individual track just to see what they sound like. And I've rigged this up so the sound's actually coming into the camera rather than through the condenser mics. Hopefully it's only the sound of my voice is coming through the condenser mics. Everything else is going line out, phones out from the BR80 into the camera. So it should be less chickens, less wind, and all the rest of it. This is the beginning of the song.
No need for fancy tricks. Keep it raw the way it sticks. 3 chords is all you need, and fill her up, fill her up, fill her up. These chords will plant the seed. That is all the people
Let's
need.
have a little run through.
Yeah, you will be just fine. You're gonna rock.
Well, we've got the bass. This is real bass. EQ settings untouched. Reverb, quite a bit of reverb on. Actually, what I've done with the reverb as well, right up to 100. Maybe too much, don't know. Just span the wheel because it's usually on 30. So that's the bass guitar is just blasts along.
Just enough. 3 chords is all you need. Don't give it up, give it up, give
There's
it
a bit of
up.
backing vocals going on.
No need for fancy rhyme. A simple beat will be just fine.
That's the main vocal.
Spin the wheel.
I haven't double tracked them. Oh, all right, that's it. Yeah, because it was. I've got to watch it on pressing here because it was on stereo. I recorded the vocals onto stereo tracks through the condenser mics here in the room across the road. That's a little bit of a fuzzy guitar there on track 2. This is all, even though that's a solo guitar, because obviously tracks are getting taken up by the fact that there's a drum machine taking up tracks 7 and 8. Everything's really done on the one track, track 6 here. So the rhythm guitar, all the guitars, just all done on the one track. It's really, for years I would do so much, you know, overdubbing and stuff, like on different various multi tracks. I'm into trying to get how good as I can get as if it was just like a 4-piece band just playing live. You know, that gelling of stuff. That is an art, a complete art in itself, you know, just to get to be a sound engineer for a live band. I mean, that's proper gotta know what you're doing there, like. So that's where I'm sort of at now, like. I always try and get there. But it's more satisfying as well. Knowing that you've hardly done anything, but you're getting a whole full sound. You've hardly done any overdubs. And this is the Zoom 234 drums go. And that's pretty much it, really. Obviously, you can see here the different pannings. You know, it's just basically sort of typical way of panning stuff. There's smidges of EQ. I really had to, you know, really, when I say I don't EQ much, I don't, like, but sometimes you have to on the vocals, like, especially when you're in an environment like this, like, and that's all I ever really do. Is there is a lot you can do with a BR80, like, to tweak EQs, like, and even more than I actually thought up until yesterday. It's ridiculous. You know, by the time it's all done and in slight EQs or something like that, you've got something that, you know, most people, you know, not musicians or producers, just listening people would think, well, that sounds good, you know. Never in a million years think it was recorded on something like this, and they wouldn't even be bothered. They just want to hear a good song, you know. There's various, I did use the reverb I used was room reverb. I always tend to use a room reverb, you know. I think that's all you need. The thing about the BR80 is, as well, is like on a vocal, you really just, unless you want, I just use sort of just a room reverb. I've never been that much for sticking delays on a vocal or anything, you know. You know, it's just, I always just sort of think, you know, it doesn't matter what type of music you're doing. If the band was in the room, if it was Judas Priest in your living room, if it was The Jam in your living room, if it was Simon and Garfunkel in your living room, there's no delays on the vocal or nothing like that. It's just a room sound. How good's that? And they would all obviously all of them three would sound amazing because they're geniuses. And it'd be even Judas Priest just down on the volume in your living room, but you'd be like, they'd be so sounding fantastic. So there's you know, on Rob Halford's vocal, there's no, so, you know, it's trying to get I've always wanted to get a representation. Actually, I've never really put much delay on any vocal, even on me Rollins on out like that. I think I've always been like that. I've always wanted to aspire, really, in a way, without realising it, to a more of a live sound engineer type of thing, you know. Because it's just, at the end of the day, it's the, you know, it's the song, isn't it, that's important, and the performance and the feel. That's the way I look at it. Like, obviously it's completely different if it's electronic music and all the rest of it, which I love. I love all music, really. What was it I'd done on this? I think for the final mix, what I'd done was I left on master mix, and I actually just nipped that down, nipped the dynamics, I think what was it, 42, I think I'd done, and just on the master mix. You got the master mixes, even if they can be a bit pushy or a bit weak, you can on the BR80 you can tweak it.
No need for fancy tricks. Keep it raw the way it sticks. Dream cards is
Okay,
all
we're
you
at
need and fill her
12 minutes. So what I'll do now is, on this video, to keep it all within the 15 minutes, here we have the finished song. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video. All the best. Cheers.
No need for fancy tricks. Keep it raw the way it sticks. Dream cards is all you need and fill her up, fill her up, fill her up. These cards will plant the seed. That is all the people need. Yeah, you will be just fine. You're gonna rock on, yeah. It ain't so tough. Just when you thought you had enough, 3 cards is all you need. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up. No need for fancy rhymes.